recording. Stop recording. Button.
Hey guys, this is Matty here, and I'm going to make a video about this, as you can see from today's title. Things I have learned in my experience with a long cane, and I've actually got an idea to make this video on my own experience with my long cane Demi from my friend Mr. tBeTillTheTrainingPeriod. Now, I'm not taking credit for his work, obviously, because he had a video similar, different title but similar, and I'll have his video linked in the description below, because I recommend that you should go and comment on his video, since he brings up great points, and I'm going to give a shout out to him in this video because his work is brilliant. So I'm giving a shout out to Mr. tBeTillTheTrainingPeriod. Now, to get into this video. So basically with a long cane, one thing that I've learned is that, and many people assume that they're going to fall off the curb when they reach the curb with their cane. That's not the case, my friends. If you swing wide enough, or swipe or sweep wide enough with the long cane, you can actually feel for the curve and move inward instead of outward. And in my opinion, that's what's important. Yes, people should tell you to be safe, but sometimes you gotta go out of your comfort zone to learn things, like I do every day. Number 2, when you are, and this is for me, when you're coming to a lot of objects in one place, or you're in a place with a lot of objects, it's better to slow down when going with your cane, to actually slow your speed, because I'm a fast mobility user. I like speed, and I recommend going at a slower pace and watching out for objects. You don't want to go slow to a snail's pace, but you want to go slow to the right momentum where you can go. And if you do that, you're grand. Another thing I've learned with the cane is that you don't have to sweep madly, but you have to sweep wide enough. Now, some people say it's through your shoulders. In my opinion, it's both sides of you, and I agree with that. Because with both sides, you're able to feel for objects, and you're able to protect yourself more, and that's another side of it. Another thing with the cane is that it's a great identifier when you're trying to tell people I'm blind or visually impaired, because one time in Mondello, where I was driving there, I had my cane with me, and you know, some people say, oh, that guy didn't know I was blind, or that person didn't know I was visually impaired. But when you have your cane with you, well, you're visually impaired, aren't you? And for me, that's the main thing. You know, like, that's the main thing about it. Another thing to remember with your cane is that you don't want to trip people, obviously, but if they get in your way, sometimes it can't be helped. It's gonna happen. And make sure if you do run into a person that you apologize. Like, you know, you show that, yeah, you're mad about it, but that you don't have to be a rude person just because of that one person and that bad experience. Another thing I will say with mobility, guys, don't put your cane in front of a car. I've done it and the ball broke off. It's not good. It's really, really not that good. Like, let's just say when your ball breaks off on the cane with the ball tip, you're kind of screwed in a sense. Number 6, and this is important in mobility. If you're with a person and they're doing sighted guide or shadowing, it's important for you to be more forward or more ahead, essentially, because I've noticed this, that people, when they see that someone is with you, they'll assume that person will tell you when they're there. So they will rely on the sighted individual for guidance, essentially, which in my opinion is wrong. In my opinion, you should be looking for the blind or visually impaired person and saying, "Sorry, excuse me, can I get by you?" And whether you move out of the way or if they bump into you and they're in the wrong, they'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry." And where you won't lose your cool and you'll just say, "It's okay, thank you." That's that's the important factor of it, in my opinion. Um, Another thing that I'm going to go on in this video is that make sure that when you're doing an indentation that obviously you don't see cars coming, and you try to be quick as possible going over, because you're going to have anxiety when you're doing it, and you can't afford to be anxious when doing it. So that's another thing I will mention. Um, like it's basically the factors you take into life every day of the week. Um, One more thing I will say is that if you're going to cross a road and a car is stopped and you want to go forward or you want the car to go on, wave your hand in a forward motion, your left hand. If your dominant cane, depending which hand is dominant, you do it with the other hand, you wave them on, and it's fine. Now, if you're on your own, people in cars or motorbikes will ask you, "Are you crossing the street?" I've never seen this done, but I am told that's what they are supposed to do. Now, another important aspect of being blind and doing mobility is bus stops. If you're going to bus stops, and this is the technique to remember for a person with a long cane. So in Dublin, when getting the bus, you stand at the stop, you have your pass ready to use, because we have free travel passes in this country where you travel on public transport for free, and you just have your cane fully out, you have your hand out, you wave forward in a waving motion. Now some people will say to you, "Oh, Jonathan, oh, Lisa, you're being rude." No, you're not being rude with the pointing motion, as I've pointed out to people and family members. You're letting the driver know, "I am here. Do not forget me." Because if it's up to some people, they'll go past you or forget you entirely. And when you do the technique, they can't get away with it as easily. And in my opinion, guys, that's what to remember when doing mobility with a cane. And you know, that's basically it. Um, Almost there though. Not at the end, obviously. If you like what you're hearing or seeing, please subscribe and like this channel and like the video. If you want to join the channel, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications, share, like, subscribe, and comment down below what your mobility tips are. And that's it for me, Jordan Matney, the blind world. I'm in bed obviously, so that's why you see me lying down here. And that's it. I'll see you guys later. Bye.